taking a significant lead on the scoreboard and a control of where the match is played. And Wigan will aim to do that again here tonight, to kill off any hopes or aspirations of this Salford side.
Salford without their marquee player, if we can call him that, Kevin Locke, superstar from New Zealand. He misses out tonight, suffering with some illness, groin injuries too since he's arrived in the northwest. Niall Evalds deputises at fullback for Salford tonight, and as far as Wigan are concerned, Sean Wayne has more or less said to the players that were defeated at Bradford, you've got us into this mess, you can get us back out of it. Minimum number of changes, but we will see the return of the prodigal son to rugby league. Joel Tompkins will make his return to rugby league. Last pulled on a Wigan shirt at the back end of 2011 in a playoff game against St Helens, and such is the change in Super League. But all clubs, not just Wigan, only two of his teammates that played with him that night, Liam Farrell and Sean O'Loughlin, are still wearing the cherry. Sargent sitting on the tackle in the end, Junior Sow. Griffin. There's two Griffins out of the field for the Salford brothers, Josh and Darryl. Darryl, the senior of the two, some 9 years old, and George Griffin will be joining the club from London Broncos next season. It'll be a trio of Griffins.
But it's important now that Salford just settled things down. And they've kicked early, they haven't waited, but the experience showing there.
Though it's the second time Salford have kicked early in the tackle count, so obviously they feel that field position is vital for them to have any success against this Warriors team.
Yeah, well, Iestyn Harris spent 2 seasons as
early in the season they were being beaten there time and time again for the Salford side, but Iestyn Harris, since he's taken over, he really has blocked this defence. It's pretty solid at the moment.
Smith, Matty Smith, former Salford star for a couple of seasons before moving back to Saints and then onto Wigan. The sun starts to set here at the DW Stadium and could well be setting on Salford's playoff chances if they don't get some kind of positive result here tonight. 4 games to go. They play Catalan, Wakefield, London and Widnes. So Iestyn Harris himself has said they look like they've got a winnable quartet to follow this one.
Yeah, but they know they've got to win this tonight. It's as simple as that. And that was good pressure, but it wasn't the best pass there that was given to Matty Smith. Luckily he got that kick away into the corner. It's a little bit of the game of chess at the moment, just trying to test each other out. Kicking game good from both sides.
It has been so far, no doubt about it. Now they just hit down the middle, keep it in the forwards for now, and then Rangi Chase prodding one forward.
That's
deep
the third
inside
time.
Wigan territory, and will it dribble over the sideline? It will.
Yeah, good thinking. And that's the third occasion that they have not waited till the last. Good tactics.
I suppose if you get to the 10th minute run and haven't conceded against Wigan, when they lost the week before against Bradford, you'd view that as a pretty positive start here. It was inevitable that the Warriors would come out firing all the bullets they had. They've passed it wide to the right and left, and they've really stretched and tested Salford's defence. They've done well here now. They've found the sideline, gives them a rest here. Can they contain Wigan's go forward? That was the area that they struggled against them in round 14. Can they match them here tonight in that?
Chase had some injury problems when he arrived at Salford, got injured in the first game against Wakefield, ankle problem, been back in though for most of the season. Hasn't created as many tries maybe as they would have liked. 17 assists as a penalty is blown.
That's smart work. Yeah, that's smart work by the Wigan pack. They realised they just hesitated, let the ball slowly come out, and you can see that Salford will break early. That is very, very quick thinking.
Here comes Anthony Gelling once more down that right-hand side, and as everyone predicted, Wigan doing a lot of their work down that side of the field. That's where they're going to try and get some joy against Salford's left edge defence. Sam Powell in at dummy half, and he and George Williams getting a lot of game time at the moment in key positions with Matt Mallorum and Blake Green still both on the injured list for Wigan, although both will be back before the playoffs start, which will be a major boost to Sean Wayne to get his key personnel on the paddock for the games that will decide whether they can hold on to their grand final championship. Here is Sean O'Loughlin again running down that Wigan right-hand side. Final tackle then in this sequence for the Warriors. What have they got up their sleeve? What can Matty Smith conjure up here at half-back? Pront it through. It's a dangerous one too, and well fielded by Teo Fars. He did ever so well to read it and then collect it.
Yeah, good positioning by the half-back. Really should have got a penalty there. They were messing around with him. But again, both sides, they're playing to tactics, getting a good position. It was a good kick from Matty Smith. And it's a good job that Theo Fars was there to relieve the pressure.
Well, much has been made of the fact that Salford are more or less mimicking what Wigan are doing. It's got like a baby Wigan. Is that cancelling things out? Do they cancel each other out if they continue to do that, Phil? Or John?
I think that if you imitate, then you're really struggling. You need to innovate, and that's probably what they have to do. They've done well here, haven't they, though? Wigan have just controlled the territory of the match. It'll be interesting whether Justin Harris, who was heavily involved in Wigan's success here last year when they won the double, behind the scenes, are responsible for it. As Rangi Chase and his side, though, are a little bit on the back foot in this first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I think they'll be very happy, though, Phil, because as you've rightly stated, it's 0-0, 10 minutes have gone. Wigan have thrown everything at them, and they've handled it pretty well. And the tactics of keeping them as far from their goal line as possible with early kicks, but that seems to have worked.
Well, some high-risk stuff there from Matthew Bowen. It almost came up because it almost released Josh Charlie, who drifted inside. As I mentioned, 12 tries in 7 games since the return from injury from Josh Charlie. Incredible try-scoring record, 123 in 112 games for Wigan. The best ratio, bar none, in the Super League at the moment.
Well, every time that Salford has kicked and got the chase through, Wigan have easily got into the opposition half. They've got to make sure, that was that a knock-on? No, interference, that'll be a penalty. They'll be furious, especially the coach, Justin Harris. Good, solid, hard defence, and then they give away a silly penalty, just hanging on. He should have pulled away, no problem with it. Matty Ashurst is the culprit.
And that's broken the cycle, hasn't it? It's been set for set virtually. That's broken the cycle. It's given Wigan a repeat set and in good field position.
Time ticking along to 11 minutes. Wigan have had both the penalties that have been blown so far by referee Phil Bentham. Smith, and now Bowen. Bowen coming into the line. He's knocked down 18 metres short of the try line. And again, he gets some rough treatment that didn't really go down too well with the Wigan faithful on the far side. O'Loughlin getting his hands on the ball. Liam Farrell. Farrell comes into the line, and it's a good tackle. It's an important tackle too from Theo Fars, but they're still moving to this left-hand side. Dan Sargentson dancing his way through, looking to find Manfredi, who was out on loan at Salford earlier on this season. Only played 1 game, but he scored a couple of tries against the Warrington Wolves. Smith going back to their favoured angle of attack down the right-hand side. Gelling with a Rangi Chase style hop step and a jump, and still going. Anthony Gelling
couldn't get that pass out. Vital. This is going to be a good kick.
Matty Smith pokes one through, and it is fractionally too long from the naked eye, but Phil Bentham thinks it might be closer than it first appeared, and wants to have a look via the video referee, who is Ben Thaler this evening.
Well, it had the wonderful pace, didn't it? Matty Smith, boot to ball, and I think Salford may have been caught napping here. Instead of making sure ball dead in goal, they let it bounce. Does he get to it? Oh, I think fingers are on it. I'd give that as a TRY.
Well, his hands are on top of the ball and it's grounded. That is a try. It's certainly inside the dead ball line. His hand's on it. Only needs a finger. It's downward pressure. The ball's already on the ground. That's all he needs to do. That's a try.
That's the reward for a very intelligent kick and an excellent chase there, both O'Loughlin and Bowen. There knew exactly what was coming. Followed through, and I'm with you, Stuart. It looks as if it's a legal grounding and a legal try.
Yeah, there's no problem as far as I'm concerned. Fingertip control. 1 fingertip control is sufficient.
And the view of the video ref is that it is a try. Matty Bowen did have a finger on the football, and Wigan have taken the lead. It was a tit-for-tat tussle, seesaw struggle, as both teams went through their sets without too many problems. A penalty then gave Wigan the field position. Matty Smith's kick and the try from Matty Bowen.
Well, the thing that will absolutely be furious with Justin Harris is the fact that there are 2 Wigan players chasing the ball. There's not one Salford man in defence. They knew it was the final one. They knew it was going to be the kick. Did anybody drop back quick enough? The answer is no.
Well, Matty Smith is going to kick his 83rd goal of the Super League season, and that puts him top of the goal-kicking charts. Started the evening level with Danny Brough. He goes one in front. He has missed a lot. Matty Smith, to be fair, he's missed 34, but he's kicked 83. And the one he's kicked there makes it 6-0 to the Wigan Warriors.
And tremendous play, was it, from the Warriors? They were happy to stay, what in modern parlance, in the arm wrestle. That field position was bought with the penalty. And that's great camera work, isn't it? It really is. Demonstrates fully the legality of the try. And Sean Wayne a little happier, perhaps, now, but not 100% yet.
11th Super League try of the season for the Australian fullback. He has 3 in the Challenge Cup also.
You've got to give it a lot of credit to the fact that once Matty Smith gets the kicking game underway, he really does lift side spirits. And as I say, and I've already mentioned, you know, Harris, the coach, has got to get the message out to the Salford players that they've got to start thinking when the man's going to get the kick in, got to have somebody there. They had it previous, failed them that time.
Here's the penalty. Wigan's third of the match, and again that's going to give them very, very useful field position. The penalty blown 10 metres inside the Warriors' half. By the time they restart, they'll be 20 metres or so inside Salford's.
And it just irritates you, not only the coach, but also the fact your fellow players messing around. Well, nothing that Phil Bentham could do about that. He had to give the penalty.
It's the 4th set now on the bounce for the Warriors, and this really is a testing time for the Red Devils.
25-4. The margin of victory to Wigan when they won at the AJ Bell in May, but this was a weak side they put out there. They were missing some of their biggest superstars in that win. It was very much a depleted side. Got a stronger side out tonight, that's for sure, despite missing the likes of Green and McAlorum still. Here they come again, the Warriors, looking for back-to-back tries. That would really do some damage. John Bateman has got it within 10 metres of the Salford try line. As in comes Williams. O'Loughlin just drops that ball up. They'll set up again here. Tony Clubb just rumbling forwards within a metre or so of the Red Devils line. Matty Smith calling the tune once more. Bateman going round in circles, running into Chase, running into Harrison. Harrison takes him down with some assistance from Griffin. This is the final tackle. Williams to Smith. And now Bowen coming in. Bowen spinning a pass that's behind Manfredi. And everything unravels for the Wigan Warriors.
Well, sometimes when you put a kick in and scored a try, the opposition, Salford perhaps, were thinking, is this going to be another kick into the in-goal area? So they went for the power play, did Wigan, but it was a shocking pass from the fullback.
You know, Wigan have had twice as much possession as the Salford side. It's no wonder Salford look a little bit tired. It tires you more when you have to defend in rugby league, but they can't allow the next 60 seconds just to roll by here without getting some punch up field here. There's a danger here that they just trundle it up to about the 40-metre line and kick it, and then they will just face a familiar wall of Wigan charging back at them.
Adrian Morley, we saw karting up there. He's done a lot better here to get to 16 minutes. He was famously sent off here in a matter of seconds for Great Britain against Australia back in 2003. Here's a knock-on, though.
Yeah, you could see that Griffin just took his eyes off the ball. You can't afford to do that. And it's quite clear to anybody watching now is that every time that Salford kick, Wigan are getting back into the Salford half. The other way around, when Wigan kick, Salford can't get out of their own half.
Very disappointed with that play, though, because it's quite a low-risk ruck play and a complete hash there made by Daniel Griffin and Tommy Lee.
He can't keep handing them field position here 20-30 metres out. This has been a passage of play which has already featured one try for the Warriors from Matthew Bowen, and a succession of pressure moments on the Salford line, and they keep coming. Wigan here, Gelling, who's proving very difficult to put down. Randy Chase and Mason Caton Brown having to double team on the long striding centre, as O'Loughlin then gives it to Ben Flower, and Flower takes 3 of them with him to ground. They're right in the middle of the pitch, just 20 metres out here. The Warriors looking to move to second spot on the league ladder tonight, above the Rhinos, who don't play until tomorrow. Sarginson looking to squirm out of a tackle. 2 left in this sequence for the Warriors. Matty Bowen is in at dummy half. A little rubber chip forward, and it's almost turned into a try by Matty Smith.
Matty Smith looked at the official saying, well, was I interfered with here? The kick was through. It would have been, was he onside as well? That was a close one.
Sam Powell's kick. It was Matty Smith on the other end of it. It was really a change in roles for the two players.
Yeah, he thought that it had been bumped out of the way.
It almost looked like the ball had gone past him before he made the tackle.
And again, we see that Salford, they are struggling to get anywhere near over the advantage line. And boy, could they do with a penalty.
Yes. Either that or something spectacular from one of their outside backs. Like Mason Caton-Brown, has already scored 4 tries in 4 games since moving from the London Broncos, or the pacey Greg Johnson perhaps, but they keep it down the middle.
And again on the last tackle, okay, they're near the halfway line, but they haven't got over it. It's a high one from Rangi Chase.
Batted back to Junior Sal. Oh, they should have let that go. That was lunacy. He tried to go himself. He had 2 inside, and it was just a simple pass, really, and it was a walk-in.
I can't believe it. He had not 1, but 2 men on the inside, and he got white line fever. He went for the glory.
Steve, I don't think he knew the guy was coming from behind him. Manfredi, who did a great job. He just wasn't aware of him, but that's where you communicate as a support player.
Well, we know how quick their outside backs are when Johnson's there in support. I mean, it's so simple. It's just a simple passing move, and it's 4 points, as simple as that.
Yeah, 2 men on the inside. Either one of them would have gone right underneath, but take nothing away from this guy. He came back, and Freedy.
Meaty hit, jars the ball free. It went backwards, says referee Phil Bentham as Ben Flower brings it away. It spills by
And sometimes the simplest of things. And Dan Sargentson, who has made a great start with this Wigan outfit. But on that occasion...
Well, that was half a chance as well, wasn't it, Steve-O? You know, we've just seen Salford bomb a half chance, and Wigan certainly did. It's good play there from Johnson, wasn't it? Batting the ball back. He's just unaware of Manfredi. And that was tremendous defensive work from the left winger.
Well, we'll see what Salford have got here. It's almost 20 minutes before they're going to start to set a possession inside Wigan's half of the field here. We've seen what they've had to do in their own half of the field, and we know they've got some exciting backs. Can we see what they've got in them now?
Teo Farge from the scrum win for Salford to Rangi Chase. And Chase uses Harrison Hansen, the former Wigan Warrior, who'll be enjoying an opportunity to go up against his old teammates, having left the DW Stadium for pastures new in the off-season. A couple of Wigan players left on the ground as Lee comes away with the ball and is manhandled to the ground by Powell and by Flower.
He needs to get to play the ball a lot quicker than that. They're allowing Wigan to get themselves sorted out in that defensive line.
Bit of juggling went on there, and eventually they get the ball out to this near side, and they keep it alive with Farge, and Farge spins it in the hands of Lama Tarsi. Tarsi rumbles forward. He's missed a couple of games through suspension recently, and last week through illness also. Tommy Lee to the string puller Chase. Chase stops it up, looking for Hansen. Hansen is very close to the try line. The whistle blows for a penalty. Offside is the call, and Salford are going to get another set of 6, this time not just starting in the Wigan half, but starting in the Wigan 10-metre zone.
Yeah, pretty smart move. Take the ball back another 5 metres, and then they'll try to suck in this Wigan defence. They look a little bit loose on that blind side, but they're coming open.
That was Wong taking it forward. This is Chase. As they up the tempo, it just went a little bit pedestrian, but then they up the pace a little bit and threaten to get close to the try line once more. This time it's Chase again, dummying and then offloading to Wong. And Wong again is right in the middle of the field, just 5 metres from the try line this time. Tommy Lee. Tarsi puts his head down and starts to bulldoze towards the line, but 3 Wigan Warriors are there to stop him. O'Loughlin, Farrell and Flower were the men in question. Farge again, as they look to examine the Warriors' defence. Flicking it out, did it come off a Wigan hand?
It looked
yes,
that
it
way.
did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it's a knock-on.
Yeah, Josh Charnley thinks he's off to the races here. But I'll tell you what, Caton-Brown got close to it. It won't matter, the whistle's gone, don't worry about that. Josh Charnley, I think he knows that it's not a try. It'll be a Salford head and feed. They flicked it out, it definitely caught a hand, Steve, didn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then Charnley went up the field of play.
That's it, that's how we rule it.
Just caught the elbow, and that's sufficient to be ratified as a knock-on. But Charnley thought he was away, and I'm not so sure that Charnley did the right thing by throwing the ball at the Salford fans behind the post, and that's the reason why they are giving Mr. Charnley the boos.
A very good defensive decision, though, wasn't it? There was Evans round the back there trying to create an extra man there to get his left winger away. But Charlie made the decision to come in on him, force the error, and almost get with the positive. But another set in good field position for the Reds. Really is the Red Devils' opportunity to post some points.
Not anymore. They've lost it. And that is a sin.
First tackle error by Salford. It would have been a third consecutive set close to the Wigan try line, and Asher spilled the ball straight away.
And you know what surprised me, Rod, is the fact that, remember, Charlie had to run the length of the field. He came back. He was the only one, when they put the scrum down, he was the only one on the blind side. I would have tested him.
That's a brilliant run, isn't it, by Anthony Gelling? You know, when they beat Wigan, when Wigan beat Salford, the outside backs made the difference. Gelling has been very strong, hasn't he, when he's played? And here's another one by Taylor, just recently onto the field.
Well, there's little doubt Wigan are pinpointing Caden Brown and, of course, Rangi Chase, who puts himself in defence, and that'll be the knock-on. No, went backwards, he said.
Manfredi squirming out of a tackle, but going very close to the sideline. Last tackle for the Wigan Warriors. They get it back into the hands of Williams. He's going to run it here. Williams, and he's the right to do so. He's found Matthew Bowen, and Bowen trying to offload to Farrell. Has just flicked it forward, and it'll be the turnover.
Well, the confidence is going through the veins of this Wigan outfit. That was good work there by George Williams. Certainly got the talent.
They're working very hard, though, aren't they, the Red Devils there, and they're harassing Wigan. They're putting them under pressure. There's no ease, there's no comfort, there's no space and time to execute the play. So doing a pretty good job, the Red Devils, at the minute.
The biggest problem, John, is that, as we keep mentioning in this first half, that Salford just cannot get into a good position.
It's the start of the Super League, a weekend, and then tomorrow the Warrington Wolves, the wounded Warrington Wolves who've lost the last couple of games, go to Catalan to take on the Dragons in another important game for two playoff contenders.
Tackle
7:30. That's a good kick. That's a 40-20.
Yep, brilliant. Went early again. They tried it a couple of times early in the game, didn't come off, but this man has just given them the fillip that they needed.
Well, that is his third 40-20 of the season. Rangi Chase. Brilliant kick.
Well, if you execute that skill, no, you need to complement it. They can't lose the ball here. They've got 6 players, and I think they need 6 points at the end of it. They certainly need to force another set. They need to camp down here for a while and have 6, 12, 18 tackles, because they have to score some points if they want to beat Wigan. And this seems to me like an ideal opportunity.
But again, you can see on that far side, he's all on his lonesome on that blind side. And surely they'll one day think about it, but they've come open again with all the defences lined up.
Junior Sow, the battering ram to start things off in this set for Salford. They've had some pressure, they've had some position and possession in the last few minutes, but they've turned it into nothing so far. Wigan, the only try tonight from Matty Bowen from a kick through. Just got his fingertip to the ball before it got to the dead ball line. Let's see if Salford can level the scores up with Farge using Chase. Caden Brown, and he spilled it, was picked up by Matty Smith. He won't have the legs. Scott Taylor has spilled it, but it will be the free play, I would imagine.
It'll come back. Well, again, this Salford outfit put themselves in a good position and just squander it away. There was nothing wrong with the pass whatsoever.
He's playing really well, though, Anthony Gelling. He's been a threat with ball in hand, and that was pretty accomplished defence there, just sliding off the ball carrier onto the receiver. Good defensive contact, and it's forced the error.
I'm with you, John. I think Anthony Gelling has had a tremendous season this year. A lot of people criticised him for looking somewhat lazy at times, but he certainly hasn't this year. He's up the tempo.
6-0 Wigan. And under quarter of an hour to go in the first period. If they win tonight, they'll go above Leeds. There could be a change in leadership at the top of the Super League this weekend. With St Helens going to Hull and Leeds at home to Bradford. Should Leeds win and St Helens lose, the Rhinos will return to the Super League summit, and there would only be 4 games remaining before the playoff series.
The one thing I suppose Yasin Harris, the Salford coach, will be looking for, if they can get to the half-time with only being 6 points adrift, he'll probably think that is a good omen, because they have not played all that well, Salford. They've lost possession on so many occasions. And if Wigan don't put another point on the board before the half-time break, they could be suffering later in the game.
Scott Taylor plays the ball, and it eventually finds its way back to Powell, who knocks it away, right-footed, or he picked up on his own try line or thereabouts by Niall Evalds, and Evalds sidestepping through, an awkward gate, but so effective when he gets into broken play. Griffin finds Caton Brown. Well, that wasn't the kind of pass that Caton Brown likes to receive. He wants to get it in some space and some running room. He didn't have it there. Did that come off a hand? No, says Phil Bentham. Tarsi carts it up, but they've only managed to struggle their way over the 20-metre line, and they've used half the tackles available to them as Wong takes it up again. Some basic stuff here to get themselves out of their own half, first and foremost. Barge.
And again, Rod, just see where this Salford outfit is. They're so far away from the halfway line, and they're having to put the kick in.
Well, there's no performance indicator for energy levels, but I'll tell you, at the minute, this Wigan side look to be much more enthusiastic and buoyant than the Salford team, who look as if they're struggling slightly, just entering that 10-minute period up to half-time.
Charnley plays the ball to Gelling. Gelling, twinkle toes over the halfway line, tries to offload recklessly, and it's straight to a Salford hand. That was offloading without due care and attention by Anthony Gelling. Sean Wayne will not have enjoyed that.
He'll be furious. Why on earth do you want to do that? You're in control of the game. Oh, now they've lost it.
Play on is the call as Hansen spills the pill to Matty Bowen. Bowen using the free play, trying to take full advantage. Sargentson boots it on. Sargentson here in a foot race with Johnson. Johnson will get there and bundle it over the dead ball line. That will be a dropout. They'll get the advantage from the free play. The advantage has been taken and utilised, and they'll get the dropout.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see Matty Bowen. He put the kick through, and another mistake here. But watch Matty Bowen. He'll get the kick away, and then, oh, they pulled me down. That was Academy Award stuff there. Good job that Johnson was there, wasn't it?
Well, he had the pace, but he didn't have the soccer skills. It was a shank, really, and he was lucky that it went dead in the end. From Greg Johnson, because it could have gone anywhere after it sort of bundled off his shin.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't try to drop onto the ball.
Short drop out taken here, but it's not come off. It could have done. They were a little unlucky. They tried something a little different from the drop out.
Yeah, quick thinking, but they were lucky, Wigan, there. They just dropped their guard a bit.
They did.
Didn't anticipate that, that's for sure.
Got the ball back though, Steve-O, which is what they were looking for, and they've got it a lot closer to the Salford line. They've used a couple of tackles. That last one was on Liam Farrell. Matty Smith. Bowen comes into the line. And Gelling! Anthony Gelling is going to stretch out and score! Gelling scored for Wigan. They get their second of the evening. They profit from the dropout. Anthony Gelling gets his 8th try of the Super League season. He didn't play last week against Bradford in that debacle at Odsall, but he's come back into the team tonight, and Gelling has doubled Wigan's try tally, and they now lead by 10 points to 0.
Well, it was quick thinking by Salford. Drop out from underneath the sticks, and it caught Wigan napping, but they got the look of the bounce. Look at that, there's just nobody there. That's poor marking. And actually, could that have been a penalty for Sean O'Loughlin? Sliding across with his feet.
I think he's unlucky. O'Loughlin's gone right across the front of him and caused a trip, really. I think that should have been a penalty to Salford for O'Loughlin's challenge.
But this is excellent work, isn't it? They've got that familiar shape that we see, and it's just bought half a yard there for Anthony Gelling to get on the outside of Josh Griffin, who was defending the centre this time with Caton Brown on the wing. And he's just got the strength there to reach over, plonk it over the whitewash for a good 4 points.
Yeah, he's had a fine season, as we mentioned earlier, but there's nothing better. Remember, he was a man that offloaded when he didn't need to, and Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach, would have been furious, but he would be saying, well, he's squared the tablet. He's done the right thing, and that was sheer upper body strength that made sure he got through the half gap and then plonked the ball down.
Sean Wayne just watching a rerun of an incident or two there. How the technology has changed in rugby league as they review everything in running. Every error, every try, every pass, every kick, and now another kick for Matty Smith, looking to turn 10-0 into 12. It drifts wide. So the lead remains at 10 for the Warriors as half-time approaches here at the DW Stadium. Sean Wayne's men have the advantage. Here's what you're talking about, the quick dropout.
Typical Rangi chase, wasn't it? It's high-risk stuff. That couldn't have been a penalty. It certainly could from Sean O'Loughlin. And from that, up they came with that familiar shape, good ball movement, and a very good try at the end of it. But it was high risk from Rangi Chase. I think I would have been happier if it just cleaned the ball as far down the field as possible. But he went to try and regain possession. Could have got a penalty, but didn't.
Well, never mind could have, it should have. And that was dangerous play there by the Wigan skipper, Sean O'Loughlin. We might hear something later on about that one, Rob.
Match review panel are at liberty to review any incident that happens in any of the 7 Super League matches over the weekend. The busy Super League weekend continues tomorrow night. Catalan Dragons versus Warrington live on Sky Sports. Leeds play the Bradford Bulls tomorrow as well. And Saints go to Hull. Big game on Sunday too as Widnes play Hull KR. That's 8th against 9th.
And the build-up to that one for Wigan, once again, the hooker Sam Powell. He's playing very constructively. Good running from the dummy half, and that's good from John Bateman. Hard man to put down.
And the former Bradford Bull with a bullocking run. Bowen shrugs off chase and finds Gelling. Gelling gets it wide to Charnley. Josh Charnley coming inside. William Charnley is going to score again. Josh Charnley with this remarkable run of try scoring. That's 13 in 8 games since he returned from injury. He got 34 last season. An injury-ravaged campaign this time around. That is his 15th, but it's a vital try for the Warriors, and they stretch away to 14-0.
Yeah, beautiful step on the inside. The quality, and again, the ability for Matty Bowen to just come in and add that extra man. Comes in from full-back, but that is an excellent step by the winger, Josh Charnley.
Yeah, well,
Bowen was the man to send it.
You expect Wigan to go for the big shift. Well, that time they went down the short side. It was a 3-man short side there. Excellent piece of play by Matty Bowen there. Shrugged off chase. That created the space. That's pretty good skill as well from Gelling. Just to release Charlie. But what a finish. It's an absolutely outstanding finisher of any try is Josh Charnley. Tremendous work.
2 tries very quickly for Sean Wayne to analyse and eulogise over at half-time. Gelling and then Charnley both notching. And, well, Sean Wayne has got the desired reaction from the drubbing they suffered at Odsal.
Time on.
Deprived him of sleep on Sunday night, and now they turn around to the following Thursday and they lead 16-0 here, the Warriors.
Well, he should sleep a lot better, that is for sure. Sean Wayne would be happy. Remember, I made the point about that if it was only 6-0 at half-time, he would have been disappointed. But this is just true, sheer class. He's in fine form.
Well, he started the night 9th on the try table. That's despite missing a huge chunk of the season. This only his 12th Super League game of the season. He's now scored 15. Well, the leader of the pack is Joel Monaghan on 22. And 2 on 21 behind him. Escaré is there with Tommy Makinson of the Saints. So he's not going to be far up in the frame here, Charlie. It's remarkable, really.
Well, when you think, sorry, Phil, when you think about it, the fact that, Wigan have taken control of this game, he will be looking for many more opportunities because for Old Salford, far too many penalties given away, far too many drop ball, and their defence is looking a little bit ragged at the moment.
I think Charlie and his teammates will be looking for another try before half-time. Big 5 minutes here for Salford. They're still in the game at 16-0. Another try by Wigan, and I can't see them coming back from that. They need far too many points. And they've had so much possession in this first half. That's a great kick. That's now going to give Wigan one more chance to find that next try.
And Evalds has, well, come up with a bit of a blunder. It bounced awkwardly for him, but it will be a Wigan scrum feed here.
Yeah, under no pressure, but you can see it was a wicked bounce. It came to him very, very quickly indeed.
Well, I think he was scurrying across there, Steve, because he was aware it was a 40-20. And he just dashed across there. Didn't get himself in any position there to take the ball. And he knows it's a pretty big error.
Do you know there's times this season where he's helped his teammates? He scored some brilliant tries. He needs 60 seconds of a favour back here.
He's got talent, Phil, that is for sure, but You know, last week he dropped a sitter with a bomb, but it's the only way you're going to learn in this first team situation.
Pressure, pressure, pressure on Salford here as Liam Farrell runs into Caton Brown and Farge, and they're going to set up base camp here with 5 tackles up their sleeve right on the Salford Red Devils line. So close they are, they dropped it. Well, it's a howling error, absolute howler, and it's Dudson who's dropped the ball.
I think we need to give Lamar Tarsi some compliment here. Does it hit underneath the ball? Is it Tarsi? I think it is. Just gets underneath the ball with his shoulder and squeezes it out, doesn't it? With contact in defence. Well, he's helped Niall Evans there, saved him from any embarrassment.
Interesting as well, Steve, swapped the centres. They had Caton Brown down the right and Junior Sow was on the left. So, Yasin is obviously aware that they're getting a fair bit of traffic down there, left edge defence.
Well, we did mention before the game, didn't we? We thought there would be a problem in that area. Caton Brown and Josh Griffin, not best noted for the defensive qualities.
This is Sow rumbling forward as the half-time siren draws ever closer. Just 3 minutes before the break, Wigan 3 tries to 0. Salford had a period of pressure midway through the first half, but committed handling error after handling error every time they got close to the line, and we're going to punish them with a couple of tries towards the back end of the half. Farge spins out a useful looking pass, but the door is shut very quickly and very firmly by Dan Sargentson.
And again, look where Salford are in this field of play. And they got to the last one. They're still 9 metres away from the halfway line. It's difficult to get the kick and chase going. That's not a bad kick, though.
Mace get into touch, it does. Right on the Wigan try line, Teo Farge with the kick. Perfectly pinpoint placement right into the corner.
Yeah, it's been an improvement, isn't it?
That's exactly, Steve, what his team wanted, to tell you the truth. Run the clock down, get into the half-time dressing room, try and rectify a few of the wrongs of the first half. Because it's been Wigan. I think the scoreline reflects the respective performances.
Yeah, he won't be happy. Yasin Harris, he knows that they had the opportunities on a couple of occasions. But as Rod has already mentioned, that too many drop balls. You can't lose possession early in the tackle count.
Well, if Salford do lose this match, they'll stay on 17 points, and the 8th place team will have at least 22 points at the end of the weekend, possibly 23 if Widnes win. They play Hull KR, so they're going to be at least 5 points behind, but the ball's come loose here.
That'll be a knock-on.
Well, this is important because they've got a minute and 10 seconds now as we stand. They need to pack the scrum, stop the clock. The clock is now stopped, so they're going to have a minute and 6 here. It's a full set of 6 to see what can come out of the Rangi Chase box of tricks.
Yeah, just couldn't keep control of it. Tommy Lee coming in and just adding the impact, and Gelling could not stop it from hitting the ground. Well, Wigan sensibly have put 2 players on the blind side now, and no, they're bringing him across. Now there's only 1.
On the scrum win then, it's Rangi Chase. What has he got up his sleeve? He finds Sow. Sow threatened to squirm out of the challenge, but they got 3-4 men to him, and in the end, the big Samoan was taken down, and now plays the ball to Tommy Lee.
And in that little offload there from Rangi Chase, he copped one fair and square in the mush.
Ashurst now to within a couple of metres. Lee at dummy half again to Farge. Farge to Rapira. Rapira trying to appear over the try line. He finds Tommy Lee. Lee spins it out. Chase had to stop because it was almost going over his head, but he still gets the ball away to Farge, and Farge threatens to go himself. Mackie Smith wrestles him backwards. Important challenge from the Wigan scrum half.
Yeah, they took the dummy to start with, but Bateman was there to snuff it out.
Well, here comes the last tackle. That will be the last play of the first half. There's no point trying to force a repeat set. There isn't time for it, so they've got to try and score on this play.
It's got to be Rangi Chase with the kick.
Chase floats it high. It falls in the end to Johnson. Simon goes, and he's knocked down on the try line. Right on the try line, right on the buzzer. Well, Greg Johnson almost scored on the bell for Salford. That might have made a difference, but he just had to pause to get the ball under control and couldn't get over the try line. So it's Wigan's first half. They've scored 3 tries to 0 from Bowen, Gelling and Charnley. And the Warriors are bossing proceedings at the DW Stadium. They lead by 16 points to 0.
Yes, thanks very much, Rod. And fittingly, the half ends with some punishing Wigan Warriors defence. And it's that defence that has caused Salford so many problems. Errors galore for the Red Devils. Their season depends on the next 40 minutes of this match. At the moment, though, it's all the Warriors.